I was born quite different. I remember my birth.
Whoa.
Being uncomfortable. If anybody wants to do any healing within themselves, you have to get uncomfortable. This modern, light, puffy, beautiful thing that, everyone's love and light. If I've worked with you or I've been in service to you, I look at you as a child, no matter what your age is. I look at you as a baby.
That's awesome.
It's not about being angry anymore. It's about educating and sharing knowledge and passing on strength instead of weakness. There needs to be the duality. There needs to be the dark. What did we get from that? What are you seeing? What are you learning? What are you acknowledging within yourself? A shaman is born into it.
Yes.
A shaman is raised into it. And they've been studying it since they were in the womb, basically. That birthright is there within them in the tribe. Every human being on this planet has the ability to do something special.
Welcome to the Raw Path to Awakening podcast. I'm your host, Ezekiel Reyes, where we share alternative information, unique, unfiltered perspective on spiritual subject matters, deconstruct colonization as we cultivate higher awareness in our daily lives. In this episode, we'll be interviewing Floraina Three Hawk. She's an honored member of the Holy People Diné tribe, otherwise known as Navajo. And over the years, she's sought wisdom from diverse mentors across the globe, from ancient traditions. And in your own words, can you introduce yourself? Because there's some clan names here that I cannot pronounce properly. So if you could kind of introduce like how you would introduce yourself.
Sure, of course. Thank you for that. My name is Floraina Three Hawk. Atali Dene, Makai Dene, Tobashe, and Tobo Oshe. So basically, the Mexican people.
Yes.
Which I have a background in the Purepecha.
Yes.
And Kich. And that's the Nakai Dene.
Yes.
And then of the big water. So because of the Kich and the San Gabrielino things and what I'm tied to here, my medicine woman at that time named me for the big water.
Oh, okay.
Close to the ocean. So all of those things represent where you come from and who you're tied to.
Yes.
And officially, just to be very clear for your people, I am adopted by the Dene. So I am not fully Navajo, but who is fully anything nowadays.
Yes.
But I am within them, and I have studied with them most of my life.
Okay. So you're adopted. So what's, I guess, when your main bloodline, I know you're adopted, but like, so were you born in the States or in?
I'm born in the States.
Okay.
Yes.
And your mom and your dad there?
My dad there come from, well, if you go way back, is where the Purepecha and all that comes from.
I see.
And mom is mixed bloods. She has a bunch of things, but I don't really know her. I was never born or raised with her.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of hard to say.
So Florina is a medicine woman. She's what you would call a healer or a shaman. And I would like to ask you, can you share a little bit about your journey and how you've come to the path of the healing work? Like what was that experience like from when you first started to like now? You don't have to like go super in depth because I have some other questions, but like what started like your path of healing, I guess?
Some people say that it starts with trauma, which I have a lot of, and I grew up very young, becoming an adult. So I'm definitely going to say part of that spurred me into the depth of that walk. But in all honesty, I was born quite different. I remember my birth.
Whoa.
I truly remember seeing what looked like a light.
Yeah.
And understanding that I'm going somewhere, doing something special or big, and being afraid.
Wow.
And then when I came out of the light, I remember being terrified and cold and angry, very angry.
Wow.
I was so mad that I was doing it again. That was my first real thoughts. And I used to tell people that at a very young age, and people would be like, "You're so strange."
That's not strange for me.
Yeah. So to me, my path was coming right into this experience this time with knowledge of, okay, this is what I need to do. And although not all the pieces were in place, even now I don't feel all the pieces are in place, but
Yes.
I knew that things were different. I have always seen things that other people don't see. Like humans don't really, I say that so weirdly, but most beings don't understand what's right beside them, what this energy just in front of you on the side of you is. And our ancestors are walking with us, entities are walking with us, everything is around us. And,
Yes.
and there's so much to see. Also, on top of that, I see people's life lights. So when people talk and they're expressing, especially if there's a lot of expression,
Yeah.
like anger or love or excitement, they light up. They have these lights in them, and their system kind of talks. So when we talk, sometimes I'm really looking at you or looking to the side of you and like observing, because humans have such a light around them or in them. And
So you're highly intuitive, psychic. Is that the proper term?
I don't call myself anything. It's funny. I let people call me whatever they want to call me. I try to just be Floraina.
Okay.
But I tell people, I mean, all I can do is offer you what I can do.
Yes.
So if you want to call me a label, then that's up to you. But yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I did. So okay. Yes, because like generally, those are spiritual gifts, one way or another. They're gifts that you have. Yeah. Some people call them intuitive gifts or clairvoyant, stuff like that.
I agree.
But just for the audience to understand, like she sees things like I guess there are maybe either one step above this or like there are layered in this reality. Does that make sense? Like, or how would you describe it? How would you describe, because there's this physical reality, but there's things that you're seeing that are a little bit on a either higher or lower.
Yes, there are many planes, realities, platforms, if you will, however it allows you to think about it, layers. And the lowest being such density where, only certain things can be, and the higher being very little density, where things without skin can be. So our skin enables us to be in some of the lower density realities or planes. And this is the experience, to feel these things. So yes, some gifts, I don't know if you were tying that in with that, but some gifts allow me to see the things that are not on this experience, if you will, for humans. And
those gifts help you to see, like when you're seeing someone and they're seeking help, right? They're saying, hey, like I don't feel like myself, or I feel like I'm carrying a lot. These gifts that you have help you see what's going on, right?
They definitely assist me. I wouldn't say that they're always super helpful.
Oh, no.
It's an assistance because, one, the colors allow me to see truth.
Okay.
It allows me to see sickness and where things may be hiding in the body. Yes. If you will. And what energy system it's tied to. And then sometimes when ancestral stuff comes in, or this human's experiential family member passed and they want to come in, sometimes like I do things like that. So that's helpful to the person on the table. So yes, it can be very helpful, but it's also kind of chaotic.
So you started you started learning, were you called to this path, or do you have mentors, or how did that whole process start? Like, there's a lot of people out here who they want to call themselves a shaman, a medicine person, and I feel and respectfully, I feel like a lot of those people are not medicine people. I feel like you have to be called by spirit. So, and me and you, we had a little conversation before we did this, and so I feel like Florina right here, she is the real deal. And can you tell us of how you were called to do the work that you do?
Absolutely. So I actually ignored that call for a long time.
Okay.
I kept hitting no, thank you. It is like a call, if you will. It's a whisper in your dreams constantly. It's a knowing. It's a deep remembrance within yourself that you have no idea why you have, and knowledge that you have no understanding on why you have. But it also comes with a lifetime of giving yourself one of the most precious commodities that you have in this experience to learning and knowledge, and that's time. And I'm 43 now.
Yes.
To make sure I'm counting right. 43 now. And I've spent, I would say, maybe close to 30 some years of actual training, because I started when I was very young. In my family, I was moved around a lot between family members because I never was with my parents. A lot of trauma started even when I was in the womb. Okay. So constantly working with moving around, learning from new people. And fortunately, and maybe sometimes unfortunately, in my family, in the ones that I was with, there were people tied to curandismo, to beginning trainings of herbs and different things when I was very young. It started pre 10 years old.
So your family already was connected to these things, but you so it seems like there's already some sort of lineage being passed down then.
My father had gifts. My aunts have gifts. Some of my cousins have gifts. My sister is extremely talented. I believe that it is hereditary. Some of the lines are very open, especially in the native families. Things are passed down consistently. That energy is passed down. So I always try to tell people, we talk so much about all this trauma passed down by the families and all this stuff, but what about the knowledge and the beauty that comes passed down through the energy? There's a lot that's there. So yes, it is a calling. And I can recall and remember dreams that would show me images of the jungles, different jungles, by the way, animals I had never seen. I was very young and I never understood why I would see these very vivid stories in my head and my dreams telling me where to go. And as I grew up and was able to travel, I was able to actually find the places that were shown to me. And sometimes down to the rocks. It's really crazy. And I was very, very honored to have many mentors in my life. One in the Yucatan, one in the Amazon.
Who was your first teacher or your first mentor?
My very first mentor would be, she was like an aunt, but she was not quite an aunt. So in the Hispanic or Native cultures, we have family that become cousins or aunts, and they're not.
Yeah, so, I understand that.
It's always the way.
Mexican over here.
Yeah. So you understand.
I understand that, yeah.
They started teaching me a lot of curandismo things. I was very privy to seeing things. And then I was forced into the Catholic Church at a very young age. Okay. And I was there 5 days of the week. And because I was a little strange, seeing things and telling people, hey, I saw grandma when she passed away last night and that's where her will is, freaking people out. Yeah. They wanted to get me blessed and exercised and all these good things. And I've been through a lot with that. But to go back to your question, my first real teacher was this woman who when I was in elementary school was teaching me herbs after school and different little baby spells and things like that. Okay. Which I learned, but I didn't really become initiated. I didn't feel called to it.
Yeah.
It wasn't something for me, but I was grateful for the understanding and the teachings because it came with a lot of reverence to what you're doing, what you speak.
Yes.
Our words are powerful. So that early teaching me that I can create anything just by speaking it was immense for me because I came from a very poor, very, went through a lot of things. And some of the things I've done and have been privy to are because I spoke about them and spoke to them and said, I'm doing this. So I learned manifestation from that point in my life very early.
Who would you say would be like, I'm not sure if most impactful or like the first teacher who like really like kind of like flipped the switches? Like, do you think you have a teacher like that really just opened you up?
I would have to say two stand out to me the most. I was going through the most torment in my life in my young, anywhere from the age of 14 all the way up till I was about 20.
Yes.
And literally, not to get into it deeply, but I was abused in all manners, sexually, physically, mentally. I mean, everything. It was awful and pretty much kept very captive and it was very hard. So getting myself outside of that and becoming who I am and creating a leave of all the trauma was necessary and very, very potent. So I searched for anything that could bring me out of that because I couldn't climb out by myself.
Yeah.
And everything I tried was not working. So when I found my way with friends to Mexico and I left the group because I wasn't really interested in like partying or any of those things.
Yeah.
It just wasn't for me. One of the girls had an aunt who took me out to their family home and their neighbors were doing like a temazcal and like all these things.
Okay.
This was nothing to do with who I went with and this was nothing to do with anything. It just kind of dropped in my lap. And I ended up staying. And it changed my life. I did that temazcal that night and I jumped into the waters. They had this like river thing next to their house. And I came out feeling fresh and new and knew that nothing was going to hold me back anymore. And I started forgiving everything from my past. And
how old were you at this point?
I was, let me make sure of the year. I think I started when I was about 17.
17, okay.
17. Oh, no. Sorry. It had to be when I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm old now. You have to pardon me.
You're not old.
No, I'm not actually. But yeah, about 19. And that was just a blip. But it stayed with me. That was probably the most impactful because they pushed me so hard to get outside of my mind. And there was no medicine involved, just the medicine of myself, which everyone has in them. So it was profound in that movement came from just within me, being in the womb of the land and having someone hold this massively safe space and a masculine person putting that into place. Because for me, men were scary.
Yeah.
Men were mean and horrible and scary. So it was a turning point, and I ended up going back home, but then coming back and staying on. And I would go back as much as I could and just stay for like a month or stay for a few weeks. And every time just gathering more and more, bringing them things and trade.
So that temazcal, that's probably your most impactful.
That's one of them.
I guess that like one of your first really impactful moments, I guess.
It catapulted me into a form of leaving safety and getting uncomfortable.
Yes.
And finally looking everything in the face. That's what it really is. It's a door and a portal to being uncomfortable, which is where if anybody wants to do any healing within themselves, you have to get uncomfortable. It is not this modern, light, puffy, beautiful thing that, everyone's love and light.
So what would you say is like the flaws because you just said in order to heal, we need to get uncomfortable. So a lot of in a lot of New Age movement stuff, you people say preaching love, light. And do you feel like that's actually more damaging than doing good, or what's your perspective on that?
I love that question. Don't get me wrong. I do say things with love. I do use some of those terms sometimes, depending on what the setting is, because I mean it. Yeah. I truly have so much love inside of me to give. It's kind of a running thing that people call me Shaman, because if I've worked with you or I've been in service to you, I look at you as a child, no matter what your age is. I look at you as a baby.
That's awesome.
Because it's true. Like, I have a very motherly spirit that wants to love on everybody. Yeah. And technically, I have not been able to give birth myself. So I know that I came in to love on all these babies that I have now. And I do everything to protect and to love on them and to show them that light that I didn't always see. So, that. But to answer your question and go back to that. Yeah. I have ran into a lot of that light, airy, puffy, not touching the dark stuff. And to me, it's more about knowledge. Like, yes. I want to educate more than criticize. Yes. Because I did have my time where I was like gung-ho and like all these things of like anger inside of me about colonization and stuff. Yes. But if you really think about it, and then all the teachings that my Shama, Susie, spoken about, it's not about being angry anymore. It's about educating and sharing knowledge and passing on strength instead of weakness or giving vulnerability in anger. Because anger is good. It shows us, where we need to work, but it doesn't heal anything. So we have to acknowledge it and speak with it and be with it, walk with it, carry it even, but we have to be more than that. So it's about balance. And when these people only preach love and light, only think about the frills and the clothes and the retreat styles and the leisure, then it's not in balance. There needs to be the duality. There needs to be the dark. What did we get from that? What are you seeing? What are you learning? What are you acknowledging within yourself?
Not that we have to change anybody, but like, how do we, if we're sharing the same space with some of these people who avoid the dark, and like, my question is there a way we should show up for them to maybe not, like, because we can't change anybody unless they want to change, right? Do you feel that we should just walk in our truth, or like, how should we walk so that they can be inspired to see things on a deeper level?
It's interesting, your question. I want to point out that I don't want to change anyone. Yeah. That is not my responsibility or my goal. If they want to change, yes, you're right. It's up to them. It's their decision. Every human being has that ability to desire something within themselves or not. Yeah. Maybe they're happy in their comfort. But if they're coming to me and they're asking for something, then my goal is not to change them. It's to help them remember something that's already within them. So I usually, again, I watch people very intentionally. I hear them, and even in the first moments of meeting them or talking with them, I know if they really want to make, these movements within themselves, or if they're really just curious or just kind of BSing themselves.
I ask because I just have this deep feeling that we need to change from the inside out, the whole world. And we need to something needs to happen. I don't know what that is, but there has to be like love casted upon the planet or something. And love needs to be coming out of people's hearts or something like that. Something like that. So it's not that I want to forcefully change people. I want to see humanity head towards a good place.
So what are you doing for your part? That's my question to the ones who say these things, because you can say and think about all these things about putting it into other people's hands, but where it really starts is in our own hands. If you do things to help the land, help your neighbors, help your family to thrive, you're making change in your little bubble, then others you're planting seeds in by just doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Everything else will be taken care of.
Yes.
That's what our journey is about. Those who walk in this path is planting seeds. That's where the love and light and joy comes in. That's when I say these things, because I want people to know that by you exuding your light, other people are going to be drawn to it like a moth. And they want to know, what are you doing? What is it that makes you shine? I want some of that. And that's how it begins. That's how it gets out there. And I know that we see all this chaos in the earth.
Yeah.
But I also see a lot of beauty in what is happening.
Yeah.
In my community, the way that we look at treating the land, the way that we look at things and honor certain things, and starting to teach the younger generations. And this is the way that it passes on and changes. I'm also involved with we're doing a GEC conference coming up.
Can you explain what that is, GEC conference?
Yes, it's like an green economic conference. So basically, we're bringing someone from the Amazon. We're also people from here and different tribes to kind of talk and speak to other people who are in large businesses who want to bring, fresh water to different tribes, or more, aid in different parts of the world, or even here, and thinking about how we can restructure food systems, or, bringing, cultivating back into the kitchens and different things, women rising, and all of that is coming together. It's the second year we've done it, and now it's going to be a 2-day thing. So we're talking about different ways to sustain our planet longer and think about all of the different systems. So it's a really interesting, very cool, very new thing, because for me, technology is scary. I'm not good at all that stuff, but I realize that we also have to grow a little bit in order to continue to help this planet in the earth. So we can't just ignore that it's happening. We have to kind of integrate and then do our best to make it better. Because the bigger ups, the corporations and all that, it's going to keep pushing down. It wants money versus health and the beauty of the land.
So when you say corporations and stuff, do you think there's I guess certain people doing bad things? I don't know, because people talk about the Illuminati, they talk about the New World Order. I mean, from your perspective, are there people in positions of power doing bad things for humanity?
Yes, 100%.
And is there a remedy for that?
Yes. It, again, starts with knowledge. And this is good because we're communicating and sharing, expressing on a platform that's going to get to more people. So the thing about technology is, even though it's scary and it can be confusing, it also can give our voice a platform that has never happened before. Yes. So these things are important. As uncomfortable as it is, it's important because we get to share knowledge and pass things down. And when I say that, it's because I hear from what I say, spirit and ancestral stuff, and what they want being heard, and the visions and different things that are shared with me. So Yeah, it's about knowledge and expression and getting out there on the platform, even if it's uncomfortable, and answering these questions and giving information, teaching our younger generations to get back to the land, which is coming. A lot of people don't realize what a downfall we're actually in for, and how important it is right now to start learning about seeds. It's funny that most people don't have any idea how to plant a simple seed and cultivate that. And I encourage people to just try and have fun with growing something with your children or just yourself.
So do you think people should start learning how to like cultivate food? And is it because there's something coming, or what? So can you elaborate on what do you think is going to happen? Or
yes, I do believe that there are going to be some forced things that may seem somewhat delightful at first for most people, the mess, because it feels like it's going to take care of them.
Yes.
But overall, it is more about taking away more of our freedoms. So water and food need to be something that we understand how to put together for ourselves, collect for ourselves, grow for ourselves, because it will at some point get to a place where it's a little difficult to obtain certain things. It'll be very costly.
So it's like there's going to be some sort of a Trojan horse or that's introduced that in some capacity will make it easier for some people to have certain resources, but then maybe like we won't be allowed to harvest our own food or something, if that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, those who are not privy, like those with less money, I should say, just to make it very simple, is the less money you have, the less ability you'll have to obtain like fresher things or actual things that are actual foods. So everything is being taken over by fake food and like, non-digestible items.
Yes.
And if we don't learn how to cultivate, if we don't start turning our lands into little mini farms, then we're going to see that come into play. And, our children are the ones that are going to suffer for this. So,
do you have like a timeline, like sooner rather than later, of course, but is like within the next 20 years, 10 years?
I hate saying I've been told.
No, I trust. Yeah. I know you get information. So yes.
So what I've experienced and have seen, the Trojan horse, if you will, that you called it, would be roughly within the 10 years.
Okay.
But everything fully laid out is beyond that. So it is slow enough for the masses not to be afraid. But a lot of times that happens with most things. They kind of lay things out, although things are happening faster now than they did before.
Yes.
So, not to sound so conspiracy theorist, but...
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, that's what we're about here.
Okay, good. Perfect.
So yeah, there's something coming. It's going to be harder for people who don't have that much money to get resources. So everyone who's listening, learn how to cultivate, learn how to purify water.
Basic medical, what plants are for what. Herbology is really important. So just even if it's just the base herbs, of what keeps me healthy throughout flu season or the years, and what is good for hormones, and especially that has a big play in it too. I was just having this conversation with someone the other day about TV and the actuality of birth rates going down.
Yes.
So hormones play a big role in this, and women should be really thinking about their hormones and how they work right now. And men need to be more solid for them and be a platform for them to feel safe enough to have babies.
Yes.
So these are conversations we need to continue to have, and we need to collectively do it, not one more so than the other. Yes. Our men and women need to come together.
Yes. What do you think has divided men and women today? Is it outside sources, or what's been, because on social media you see like this seemingly like war like online, between men and women. I'm not sure if you've seen that online, but I do see it.
I mean, I've seen it all my life. I feel that money and power and conditioning have a role in that. We're still, even though we're exiting it more so, we've grew up in a very machismo platform.
Yeah.
And this movement, the false spirituality, as well as this like bubble of shamanism, or insta shamanism, I call it.
Instant ramen shamanism.
it's what it is. And
yeah.
I get it. I know people want to shed love and light and all this stuff, and once they take part in the medicine ceremony, they feel like they're called to it. But it's a very big conversation to get into that one. I feel like.
Yeah. Do you feel like so obviously like when we started this conversation, I said that there were some people who I do not consider a shaman.
Well, let's take a look at shamanism.
Okay, the word shamanism. Let's take a look at. Okay, where does the word shamanism come from?
In all actuality, when someone says I'm a shaman, and I'm like, okay, where do you come from? Who are your parents? Like, what's your tribe? And I have to say, like, it's really crazy for them to be like, oh, well, I did this program or certification, or I went to this retreat, and now I'm, the medicine told me. And I was like, Then I politely know that I'm not going to have a conversation with them, because I'm not going to try to argue with someone who really thinks about themselves that way, because it's a waste of my energy. I'd rather go work with people who need to be worked with.
Yes.
But a shaman is born into it.
Yes.
A shaman is raised into it, and they've been studying it since they were in the womb, basically. That birthright is there within them in the tribe. And unless you have been a child growing up into that culture all your life, and they name you that, not you named yourself, then you can call yourself a shaman.
Can someone be a shamanic person but not a shaman? Is that possible?
Yes. I do believe that you can study under someone and
more so have like the spiritual experiences or like the gifts, but not have like the support of a tribe or the support of people. Like maybe there's people who have gone into full-blown psychosis, or not like, how do I want to say this in the right way, but I feel like there's some people who have the gifts or who have had the experiences, but they necessarily weren't supported by any tribe or any people, so they may have some of the aspects.
So then they have gifts.
Yes.
Their gifts were awakened. They're not a shaman. So maybe they are shamanic-like, but they are working with their gifts, and they need to be fully trained.
Okay.
So there needs to be reverence to a title, and that person should never call themselves a shaman. They can let people call them that if that's what they want.
Yes.
So it's a very important thing that the person themselves has the balance to know, am I working through this in ego and desire? Because there's ego, and then there's spiritual ego, and there's extra layers of spiritual ego.
Yes.
And all of that makes us want to be seen in what we do. And we have to be very careful and humble and parenting to ourselves to not go crazy with that title or that idea just because your gifts were unlocked. Every human being on this planet has the ability to do something special. It lies in everybody's DNA.
Yes.
It just varies between everybody. That doesn't make them a shaman.
Thank you for that clarification. Yes. So for the people who are watching, just remember to have respect for the lineages, and remember that, as she said, just because you have one ayahuasca ceremony, you think you want to be a shaman the next day, doesn't mean you're a shaman.
Yeah, I get a lot of that. Like, oh, the medicine told me, and and I have a lot of like medicine told me to do this or that, but I don't do every single thing that medicine asks me to.
Yes.
So you have to, as the human, decipher what is at the highest level and right for you as the physical human.
Discernment.
Yes, discernment. It's very, very important.
How important is discernment in your line of work?
It's incredibly important. Like there's nothing without it. Honestly, I have to consistently mull through everything that I do and speak. So even down to my markings is a memory of what I speak is powerful.
Yes.
So what your decisions are powerful even before you use that tool. So discernment is always in the conversation, always in the mix with everything that I do. So to answer your question, very, very.
Do you feel like there's some people who, I mean, what are the type of people who would benefit from discernment? I'm not to like go at any groups, but like, I feel like, yes, like there's people who want to call themselves shamans or who want to say that they're this or that. Well, what are some of the groups that you think need more discernment?
You know, that's a loaded question because it is perspective.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I think every human being needs to show discernment in everything that they do. So I'm not going to say it's one group more than the other. I think that some people need more of it than others.
Yeah.
But we all need to walk with discernment in our hearts and our minds and in the mental body, especially because that's where a lot of conditioning comes into play.
Yes.
But I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's fine. Are there people who come to you who you like turn down?
It's very rare, but yes, I do have requirements depending on what we're doing.
Yes.
So with me, it's very simple. I always ask the person, are you coming with an open mind, an open heart, and an honest tongue?
Yes.
And I do warn people, look, I see your emotions on top of you. Like I see the lights that work within you. I will know if you're not telling the truth. And I'm not here to change you. Yeah. You're here to change you. So if you don't want to do that work or you don't have reverence for yourself and that work, then we're not ready. So I'm not going to deliver my energy when they're not ready.
Okay.
So if they do not follow like the dietas that I or protocols, if you will, even for sessions, because there's one thing to dieta for medicine and there's one thing to dieta for a session where you're working energetically. And I think that it's just as important as any big medicine journey that you would have.
Is the dietas they're plant-based or what's the dieta like?
So there's a basic dieta where you're fasting from these Western bandages that we place on ourselves. Like absolutely no red meats, no added sugars above 4 grams, which is pretty difficult if you look at all packages. No, sugary foods, major carbs that are processed or anything like that. No social media, no sexual intimacy with self or a partner. And no drugs, alcohol, or other plant medicines.
Okay.
So you're abstaining, and caffeine, which is a huge one here. So these things, when they're taken away for, let's say, 5 to 7 days, already the human's going to start to feel the vulnerability hit within 2 to 3 days. And you're wide open because guess what? There's nothing covering that wound or multiple wounds, and everything's bubbling up to the surface, and they're being easily frustrated, they're being vulnerable, they're emotional for some reason, all these memories flood back. The work begins, you get to the platform of medicine or even energetic work. You're already working because you made that decision to work within yourself, and it's coming to truth. And so dietas are very important. And then there are actual plant dietas where you're only utilizing water, herbal teas, and the plant, or just water and the plant that you're working with. And that's usually has a lot to do with like the Amazons and like stuff like that, where you're working to understand the spirit of that plant. So
I wanted to ask you, the work you do, a lot of it is energetic. So you work with what people call the meridians or like energy centers, but you also I'm not sure if I mentioned it here, but you work with plant medicines as well. And I wanted to ask you how can people who are watching, how can people like work with these medicines in a respectful way and an honorable way? What does that look like?
I like the way you said that. So it's very important to know, my first statement is not everyone should do plant medicines.
Okay, yes.
And when I say plant medicines, I'm not talking about like using herbs for daily health or even colds and flus and such. I'm talking about psychedelic plant medicines.
Yes.
So not everyone is meant or supposed to take these medicines. As a matter of fact, these medicines were actually used only with the shaman or taita or the medicine man or whoever you want to point at.
Yeah.
And they would deliver the message to the person sitting. So it has become such a popular thing for everyone now to experience it. And they're becoming their own, shaman, if you will.
Yes.
And that's where this fad came from. They want to take that role when it wasn't really the way that it was meant to be. Only when there was a large communal group thing that they were trying to work through or something of that nature. So different medicines started like that. Now, some were communal more so, like peyote was communal, and they did it as a tribe, and it was something they did together. But it's become so much more than that. So my first thing is, not everyone is meant to do this. And if you're coming to the table out of curiosity, I don't work with anyone that way.
Okay. So so not everyone is meant to work with plant medicine. So can someone sit in ceremony and not take the medicine? No. Never. This
will affect the group in the whole, and the energy will be unbalanced, and it's not appropriate.
So you would recommend something else for them if they're seeking healing?
Oh, yes. Healing doesn't come just from plant medicines.
Of course.
Absolutely. So that is like a main statement I would like to say. Plant medicine is not what heals you. The process of understanding the messagery that you find within yourself is what heals you. And acting on the processing and doing the work to get you through that process. So that is the real medicine in the work. It's not the beautiful euphoric journey and the colors and lights that are only a gift. Not everyone sees these beautiful things. A lot of times it's dark and scary and hard and real. And some people are not able to hold that space, and they have breakdowns or spiritually are attacked, and this puts them in a very bad place.
So what are some of, I guess, the dangers of someone who is not meant to take medicine? If they take medicine, what could happen?
So if someone comes, let's give two scenarios.
Okay.
One person comes just to experience because they love new experiences and they heard all the rage about it. And the other person comes because they have had this severe trauma life and they are outcasted. They don't have friends. They don't have anything in their life worth anything. They're on the point of taking their own life.
Yeah.
These two people come to the table and they're asking for medicine.
Yes.
The one that is just experiential, some of those fad spiritual people who carry medicine are going to give it to them because they think, oh, this will just, appease them. And it gives me a sense of worth and it's money. Yeah. So that happens. I'm not going to take that, but I see that happening. And this could go one of two ways. It could be good for them and it could drive some ego out of them. It could help them see past their humanness.
Yes.
Or it could put them into a different state of spiritual ego where all of a sudden they're a shaman and then they're doing things out of right relationship to the culture and the medicine, and then they hurt people.
Yes.
They're opening them up into spaces that they should never have been in. They have no reverence for the money. The time, the medicine.
Yes.
They just want money and no disability, like see me. And then they hurt those people and they're open, and then that's cascading into spiritual attacks, depression, psychosis. All those things happen because that one person didn't take time to understand truly what it's all about. Mm-hmm. They only had an experience.
That's a big one for me. Psychosis. So have you seen that in the community? Like psychosis, have people being in the mental hospital or being having to like complete total mental breakdowns and just being out of it. You've seen that?
It's unfortunate, but yes, not in my circles because again, I take a lot of care and a lot of discernment.
Maybe like another circles or.
Well, what's happening now is I'm taking in people who either have been served unfairly and left to their own devices, and now they're wide open and terrified. Yes. And then I have some people who are who've been in psychosis because they self-took medicines. They ordered the medicines, they took them, and then they didn't give time. They took other medicines, and some were not medicines. They were chemical versions of these medicines to depths where they no longer feel human. They don't even understand what human means. And now they're having a hard time being in their body. So now I have, it isn't my responsibility. However, I'm not going to leave somebody like that.
Yes.
I want to do my best to help guide them back to their body and feel safe. So all we can do is create a platform of safety for them to be seen as human again and to interact and to remember what it's like to be human again and why. And they must themselves, with the highest encouragement, be in a life of service so they can find something that's bigger than them, or else they won't feel that they have a purpose because they know too much. And you can never go back. You cannot go backwards once you have been cracked open. That's the danger of this.
Yes.
There's no putting anything back into Pandora's box once it's been released. So.
Wow.
So heavy, I know. Smile, everyone. It's Friday.
No, it's great. It's great because I've definitely disrespected a long time ago medicine, and that's how I got into the trouble I got into. But because of my will, I've been able to pull myself together, and I just have too much love in my heart to not help my mom and dad, to not help the people that I care about. So that's my purpose. That's what I do. I just want to love and care for people. But so yes, psychosis is a big one. So, and the ego, the spiritual ego, is another one. So that you're saying there's no way back once you open those portals, but there is a way forward.
Yes. I don't want anyone to think that there's no way out of it. That's why I say it's a life of service from there on out.
Yes.
And service can be anything. It can be bringing knowledge to people. It could be actual service. But you have to put the human form in a space of work for others.
Yes.
And by that, you're anchoring yourself in a good way, and you're also spreading knowledge and love. So it's really just stabilizing again and feeling back in your body, back to the light in yourself. So there is a way through, but it takes time and it takes understanding and a lot of patience and a good community to help lift you up out of it.
Do you think in today's society it's harder or easier to find community for this type of work?
Oh, it depends on how you look at it. So everyone talks about, it's funny, I don't really love saying the word tribe. Everyone says, oh, I want to find my tribe. I'm like, it's more about community.
Community,
Let's change the word, okay?
Community, okay.
Yeah, you're even just, misusing the word. Or soul family or whatever else you want to call it, but it's not your tribe. It's your community. It's what builds around you and what lifts you up. And it is harder nowadays for our younger ones because they grew up in such a let's say the pandemic took all senses of looking at people in the eyes. Like, I can't tell you, I think I actually purposefully do it sometimes, and I look at people and I smile and I'm like, want them to look at me in the eyes because I miss that dynamic, you know?
Yeah. Do you think the mask thing also I guess, so for the people who are watching, I'm not necessarily anti medications or vaccines. There's some vaccines I think are more harmful than good, but was there something in the consciousness happening, like when people were wearing masks and distancing themselves? Was that more, if you can say, was that more damaging, or was that, or like, what do you think was happening when the pandemic happened and the social distancing and like the mask thing, and like you're telling me like people weren't looking each other in the eyes? Like, what happened?
This whole experience was severely damaging to the human race.
Okay.
And our children. Their children will be altered for the remaining of their experience, and will teach their children therefore as well. So we have to do our best to kind of bring back socialization and safety in that, because even after the whole pandemic thing, kids were taking pictures covering their mouths. They didn't know how to show their face.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to talk to each other, whether it was in person versus a phone. They'd rather sit by each other and giggle and talk to a phone through text when they're sitting next to that person.
Yeah.
And that really just jumped up quickly with the pandemic, because it was easier on everybody, and everybody was meant to stay away from each other. Now, I have been explained to that, and I'm partly in the medical field too. I've been for a long time in my life. So I wanted to understand all aspects of medicine. So Western medicine I do see as well. And I have worked in surgery almost all my life.
Yes.
So I've seen the different things that come from that. But I do think that it was harmful. I know that it affected our lungs just by covering up. The respiratory system weakened. I know it's not a popular idea, but it was very harmful to the humans. So, it is what it is. And now we have to work with that, and we have to strengthen ourselves with herbs and with fresh air, sunlight, and being more active. And they're very simple fixes, to be honest, if we're more consistent about it. But it's luxury, it's ease, it's comfort that people get caught up in.
So we don't have much time left. I think we have like 5 minutes.
So much to not talk to still.
But I could keep going. I can keep going. We should probably do another recording at some point and do like a 2-hour long or something. But for our listeners, what could you recommend if someone wants to like start healing themselves? Is it listening to your body? Is it the herbs? Like eating good food? What's the number one thing you could, like, for a closing statement, like what's the number one thing you can recommend that people who start feeling start healing?
Okay. So I'll say something that I say a lot to my yejes, or I call them yejes, the people who come see me, when they leave. A lot of times when you wake up in the morning, there's a simple act that you can do that changes your day, and if done consistently will change your life.
Okay.
And it's simple. So as you wake up and you're opening your eyes and you realize you're waking up, state right away 3 things that you're grateful for.
Wow.
I'm grateful for my eyes opening today. I can see. I'm grateful for my breath. I can breathe. I'm alive.
Wow.
And grateful for whatever else, my daughter, anything that you want to say. And then when you're done with that, have water next to your bed in a glass, nothing else. It has to be natural, but glass is the best. Glass of water, 4 to 8 ounces. And you put it to the heart. And while you're breathing into it, you want to speak out loud to it is best, not internally, but it can be internal if you really need to. But if you're not afraid to be crazy, say it out loud. And say, I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you for nourishing my body, this body. Thank you for healing all of it, filter through all of my cells with so much love, honor, respect, and safety. Thank you. And then take a deep breath and then drink all of it.
Yeah.
That memory, cellular memory that goes into your water, the water will carry it through your body.
Wow.
And then the last thing, when you're done with your water, you sit at the edge of your bed, just like we are here, feet flat, hands either up or down, depends on whatever you're feeling. And you'll do 10 deep breaths.
Okay.
And if you're an anxious person, I highly suggest only through the nose, 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out the nose.
Yes.
And that helps the vagus nerve relax and everything calm. And when you open your eyes, you're going to feel very, very settled and alive. And all the cells are awake, and you will see you'll need less coffee in your life. You'll have more sense of peace, and you're going to treat people as such. And you're going to smile more. Every day that you do this, you're going to see your life change and bend in different ways.
Wow.
And it's because you took 5 minutes of your day, just like brushing your teeth, to stretch that muscle of love to the self, love and gratitude, and breathing into this physical form that we are. So that's my advice to start the healing process.
That is amazing and beautiful. Thank you so much. And that has been the Raw Path to Awakening podcast. And I'll catch you guys later. If you want to subscribe, click the button down below. If you're listening on Spotify, go ahead and you can just follow us. And that has been Floraina Three Hawk. Thank you so much.
Yeah, agone.